today's modern version of like what is a one-hit wonder. I mean, you see people blowing up on TikTok every single day, right?
All right, here we go, the afternoon sessions. If you're one of the more, thank you over here. If you're one of the more than 2 billion people who have downloaded TikTok, right? How many of you in the audience are TikTokers? Yeah, let's do that. You might be familiar with our next speaker. Josh Richards tops the TikTok charts with engaging, authentic content that keeps his 40 million followers and his clients happy. The sky's the limit on TikTok, and we've asked Josh to give you guys some insider secrets. So please welcome the editor-in-chief of Style Canada, Elise Gasbarrino, and Josh Richards.
Do I go? Okay, sick.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
It's going great. We're at
going
Collision, so
good?
can't complain. You know what I
Can't
mean?
complain.
No.
Josh is very busy, not only today, but every day, I think, by looking at your bio. Why don't we start with telling everyone a little bit about what you have going on, because it's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, this week was just been a crazy week just because of like travel, I feel like, especially too, right? Like, pretty much came in from LA, came here for Collision, also had to film for a DreamWorks animation show, and then do this today. After this, I get on a plane, go to France, do con, then after that festival, go to VidCon, do that festival. So it's just like going to all these events, being able to speak, do biz dev and whatnot. But it's all about networking for the production company and the venture fund. So yeah.
Very cool. Well, we're excited to have you with us today.
Excited to be here.
You've become very much a voice for Gen Z. It started with your first video, 70 million views. I love that the title of this is called Fuck Ups. So what was since 70 million views to now, what were the fuck ups?
Yeah. I mean, I think I made a lot of fuck ups before I even got that first video that really blew up, right? It was probably a year and a half of posting 5 videos a day on the Musical.ly app at the time. That was before ByteDance came in and bought it. But it was just continuously trying to figure out different ways to post on the For You page and really get it to go trending, how that algorithm worked. And it was really beta testing, right? Posting 5 different styles of videos every single day until I kind of came across the tutorial video, which was that first video that really got to blow up. And I found people resonated with it because they wanted to, one, save that video, put it in their favorites, go back to it, learn that trick later. And then secondly, it would drive a lot of comments. People either saying like, oh, thank you, I've been wanting to know how to do this, or now can you show me the actual trick without putting the steps behind it? Can I get a part 2? So it just drove a lot of engagement. And after I found that tutorial videos worked, it was using that to post one of those every single week. And then as I started aging with my content, my fans got to age with me, so it's evolving that content continuously.
And so you started with kind of those how-tos, and now we're following your life, right?
Yeah.
Really. And so that's kind of, I guess, maybe the progression of you, the progression of TikTok. What is it, though, that makes TikTok so attractive, do you think, to Gen Z?
I think the ability to be able to be a star overnight. It's really this platform that anyone can go viral on it. Anyone in this crowd can go and post a video right now and get 1 million likes by tomorrow. So I think that's what's so interesting. You don't need the best phone that's out right now. You don't need the highest camera quality. You don't need the best lighting. You can be in your mom's basement filming a video, and that's what I was doing, and able to blow up from that. So I think that opportunity and that ability to give kids a different path is what's so attractive.
Yeah. So that's from the content creator side, right?
Yeah.
And then from the brand side, I know you have some exciting things happening with Amazon and big corporate America. What do you think brands to that magnitude can utilize TikTok for?
Wait, can you say that last part again?
So
Sorry?
the brands of that magnitude, like the Amazons of the world, what do you have going on with them? Like, how are they utilizing TikTok to capture that Gen Z audience?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's really being able to get these companies to reach Gen Z and have, I think, Gen Z be heard when they're trying to talk to these different companies. If that's specifically what type of content they're interested in nowadays, or if that's talking about certain movements that Gen Z cares a lot about. So I think it's just bridging that gap of two generations.
Okay. And what would you say, what do you think is coming next? Like, so you're on TikTok now, obviously. You're on Instagram, you're on all the platforms. What are some of the new things that are happening in the social space that you are interested in?
Yeah, I think probably something that I'm most interested in, or like when it comes to creating content for me, is I've always been someone that's very frontward facing or in front of the camera often. And with Crosscheck Studio specifically, it's given me this opportunity to be behind the camera, right, and be more of a producer and be involved in these projects, but not have to be the content creator, and being able to give other influencers the opportunity to find their podcast that they want to make, or to find their unscripted show, or just their voice in the space. So I think that's something that I'm really excited to do. I've always loved to kind of be that person that's also directing or be behind the camera as well, so yeah. And
from a platform perspective, are there any other platforms to keep an eye out? I know you said like really interested in live streaming right now.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Twitch.
I think live streaming is something that's like gonna continue to take over, just because people want authenticity. That's why I think TikTok has done so well. You do have that lower production. You do have that kind of more feel that you're talking right with your fans, instead of 6 years ago where YouTube, you had to buy an $1,000 camera and you needed to have that whole setup. So with apps like TikTok, and I talked about it earlier on my Q&A, like Be Real, for example, is another app that just came out, where it's like you're posting what you're doing exactly in that moment with just your best friends. It's not a filter you're putting on. It takes a picture of you and the back of your phone too, right? So like the front and back camera takes a photo at once and it goes and posts it. So I think people are just wanting to have that authentic.
I'm going to interrupt you. It's called Be Real.
Be Real.
So it's video, like.
It's just a picture, so it's like
just a photo.
It gives you a random notification at a random point of the day and just says "Be Real," and then you tap it, you take a photo of what you're doing in that moment. It kind of just takes a photo of you and whatever's in front of you.
Oh, really cool. Okay, I hadn't heard that. Yeah. What else what else is the latest and greatest? I feel like I haven't heard that.
I mean, I feel like for platforms, that's probably the last one that I've seen or the newest one that I've seen like start to take off. But again, the core about that is just to be authentic, right?
Yeah.
It's like what we saw on Instagram. When I first got Instagram in like 7th grade, it was like I was making a smoothie and then I was posting my smoothie recipe online, right? It wasn't so much getting my selfie and like getting filters done, none of that.
When you scroll down, you kind of see, you get back to that authenticity, right? So I want to stay on authenticity for a second. We have a lot of brands in the audience, whether they're startup or corporate. How can they be authentic nowadays with the audience? Because I think you're right. I think it's really hard to be, right? And so is the best way to do that through someone like you, through a content creator like you? What are some ways that brands can do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important for these brands to align with creators that they feel either have the same mission, or have the same, like mission plan, or a creator that's authentically already using that brand, right? So a lot of the times when I look at different companies I want to team up with, it's companies that I'm already using on a daily basis, so I know that's going to be an authentic deal I'm doing. It's when I go and promote it to my fans, it's not another billboard that they're seeing on social media, something they're just scrolling past. They actually feel like I'm being very honest with them and being able to tell the truth. So it's always important that you're finding a creator that cares about the same thing the founder does.
And I'm sure that comes in those kind of initial conversations. I saw, I think it was on your Instagram stories, your Lipton Brisk iced tea. I don't know if that was paid or not.
No, it wasn't. Like,
okay, it came across super authentic, but to me that was like, nailed it.
Exactly. Like but that's also something I think a lot of creators feel like they can't do, is post about a brand that they're not necessarily working with, because they're like, oh, it's a free promo. And yeah, you know, I love making my money. Who doesn't? But when you're able to post and show this brand, like, you authentically care about it, you just love it on a daily basis, now that brand's going to be 10 times more inclined to work with me than they were before, right? Because they know I care about the product without needing to be paid.
Totally, totally. So it's kind of like a reverse strategy on the content creator's side, too.
Exactly. Then the content creator is able to go and show them, like, hey, look, I already messed with your brand. I've already done some work for you guys. Why don't we make this partnership a little bit more real?
That's a great tip for any like content creators out there, actually.
Oh, yeah.
You're like reverse engineering that. I love it.
100%, 100%.
So we know that you post things that you love and that you're authentic about. If a brand is approaching you, right, what's that conversation look like? Because I'm sure there's lots of brands here today that would like a minute of your time. So how do they capture that influencer that they want to work with? Is it sliding into your DMs? What's the best way to get in contact?
Yeah, for me personally, it's either approach me when I'm at one of these types of events, right? Like, we do a lot of these where I'm able to network with a lot of people, meet a lot of people, get their numbers, talk to them. But I would say also a lot of the time it's going through like email, like just being able to email me or email my the president of Crosscheck Studios, his email's in my bio on Instagram. So just being able to talk to my team, like that's always the best way to go about it.
So let's talk a little bit about Crosscheck Studios, because you have an amazing partner, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
How did that come to be?
So with Mark, I always looked up to him as a younger kid, and as I started my social media career, and kind of wanted to follow his footsteps. Obviously, we all know Mark Wahlberg started off with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, and he had his moment and his kind of like one-hit wonder, but he was like, how do I pivot from this and keep going? He got into the acting space. And then from there, he became an entrepreneur and started founding his own businesses and companies. So when I look at today's modern version of like, what is a one-hit wonder? I mean, you see people blowing up on TikTok every single day, right? So that's kind of how I made that relation. And then from TikTok, I really wanted to get into founding different companies. And I started with a talent management company, and then moving into angel investing. And when I wanted to get into the production or TV and film space, I thought, who better than to go and talk to Mark Wahlberg, someone that's been my idol since I've been a little kid, and see if he can give me even just some tips or tricks. And as we got to start talking, we were able to form more of a long relationship. So yeah.
Very cool. Just called up Marky Mark.
Yeah, Marky Mark.
And you had some other kind of cool mentors, it seems like, along the way. Ashton Kutcher is a name that came up. How did you get involved with him?
Yeah, again, with Ashton, it was also just trying to find someone when I first started angel investing, in that space that could give me advice on how to juggle two different worlds. Obviously, Ashton, who started off in acting, is now looked at as a very serious investor and has made amazing investments. So it was really just that conversation with him of how do you juggle those two worlds? How do you find time for both? And he was telling me stories about how he would be on set, and in between scenes, he's in his dressing room taking venture calls. So it's really just finding that time whenever you can, and that's kind of the I guess what I've lived off since that phone call with him. So yeah.
So you're 20.
Yeah, I'm 20.
Okay, so list off all the things that you have going on right now, because I hope everyone got like a little glimpse of what you just said. You have a production company.
Yeah.
You're involved with the NHL.
Yeah. We have a relationship with the NHL, just being like a special advisor over there and helping them bridge the gap with Gen Z and getting more kids involved to play hockey.
The venture capital company. And what do you kind of look, because there's, I'm sure, other people that are looking for funding in this room. What is your VC looking for when you guys look at startups?
Yeah. I mean, we look at pretty much everything across the board. I think the most important thing for us when we look to invest in a company is how are we going to be able to make this reach Gen Z, or how does this relate to Gen Z, because that is one of our big focuses. But then also, it's always about betting in the founder. I mean, every single time I am going and talking to one of these companies, it's founder first. I got to believe in them, because at the end of the day, a lot of the times, sometimes their first thing won't work out, but their second thing or third thing will. And great founders always find a way to win, so it's more about betting on them.
Very cool, very cool. So what's coming up next? Besides France?
Yeah, coming up next. I think The biggest thing to look out for is going to be, obviously we've teamed up with Amazon, so looking for projects in the TV and film space on Prime Video, and then also we're raising our second fund right now for Animal Capital, so be some great things in the venture world and then also in the TV and film space.
Very busy, very busy. Ooh, I didn't see the camera there. Hi, guys. So from a Gen Z, you talked a lot about Gen Z. If we were to kind of go through, you know, maybe the top 3 to 5 characteristics of what Gen Z is looking for when they're scrolling through TikTok, can you?
Yeah. I mean, I think one, there's always going to be that massive space for like relatability, right? They want to be able to relate to the person that they're viewing. So if that is through the favorite sport they play or just their sense of humor or whatnot, they just want to find something that they're able to relate to. I think the era of looking at celebrities and being like they're the untouchables has kind of changed. We want to be able to feel like we can connect to the people that we're watching. And then secondly, it's going to be that charisma, that charm, like for a creator, right? You want to, when you're watching videos, it's going to be someone that you either smile when you're watching them or you laugh when you, like it's that, charisma that someone has. And then thirdly, it's going to be about, I think like the biggest thing is like educational. It's being able to actually have that person that's watching your video leave watching your video with something. They're not just wasting their time on their phone or kind of like waiting for the bus to come pick them up before school, so they're scrolling through. Like they want to actually take something away from that video. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. So we kind of went through the business side. How are you personally enjoying this?
I mean, it's like...
You must be tired, a little.
A little bit tired sometimes, yeah, for sure. I was yawning a little bit backstage, but I just drank a coffee and then I was able to come out.
Ready to go? It's a good thing you're only 20.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think it's definitely super important to like take time for yourself when you're someone that's in like the social media space and you have a lot of eyeballs on you at all time, or just a lot of people that think they need to give you their opinion on how you should live your life, right? So like this past weekend, I was able to escape for 2-3 days and go camping with my family, spend Father's Day with my dad and do all that. So I think it's really important to always surround yourself with the people, you know, that you love and love you and are your family. And then also, personally, I just put timers on all of my apps, on all my social media apps. I think people think I probably spend 10 hours a day on social media.
Say, what's your screen time?
It's probably not. We can check it right now.
Yeah,
we can do a little like live check here. But for my like specific apps, I usually will like have the 15-minute timer on there. So after 15 minutes on the app, it's like, you can't go on anymore. And of course, sometimes I'm like, all right, ignore limit. Give me another 15 minutes because I need to post a video or I need to get some content done. But yeah, I try to limit it as much as possible. Like in the last week, I only had 10 hours of screen time over a week. So like, yeah.
For someone whose career is social media, well, I mean, other things as well, but like, that's actually not bad.
Yeah.
I feel like we should take a poll of the audience. I think most people would be around like 8 to 10.
I feel like, oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm at 8, so that's not bad.
No, not bad at all.
So what does your family think of all this? You mentioned you did a little break camping. I think I read in your story, amazing article, by the way, in Vanity Fair, and Forbes did a great piece on you as well. But, you know, you were going to be a lawyer? Or
I mean, I think my parents thought I was going to be a lawyer when I was younger, just because they thought I was a great arguer. They thought I always wanted to win every argument I was in, so they were like, oh, this kid, he's going to school, he's getting good grades, perfect, he'll be a lawyer. But when I was going into my freshman year of high school, my sister, who's somewhere in the audience, I think.
Here?
Oh, she's waving over there. Shout out my sister because...
Is your whole family here?
My sister and my mom are here, yeah.
Nice.
But I wouldn't be on social media if it wasn't for my sister. She posted a video of me on Musical.ly when I was the summer before my freshman year of high school. And from that is really where like my, I guess, social media career started. The video blew up in our head. It got like 50 likes, so it wasn't a lot. But to us, that was nuts, and we were running around the kitchen. And then I just started posting videos every day. Was always a big numbers guy, so I was like, all right, I need to get 10K followers by the end of the summer. If I do, I'll keep doing it. And my sister was the one helping me out, just like in my mom and dad's basement, live streaming for 4 hours a day. She'd be down there entertaining people with me and just having a good time. So, yeah, big
It's
props
like
to
a
Olivia.
family business that it started out.
Oh
as,
yeah, at the start it was. I mean, I had her cut in on like a 15% commission-based salary.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you
She
get a
was
cut of
going and
this?
targeting. She was targeting like the highest spending viewers on the Lively app because they gave you a leaderboard of the top 200 highest spending like people that watched streams and donated. So she would just like go through, growth hack my account essentially, and be logged into my account, follow all those people on the list, go direct to consumer, follow all those people, like 15 other videos from my account. They got 16 notifications from a random Josh Richards kid. So they came into my live stream, and then we'd be like, oh, perfect. Now we're targeting the best customers we could be on the app, like instead of
How
just
old's your
hoping they come
sister?
across our stream. So yeah,
How
shout out
old is
Olivia. She's only a year younger than me, so she was 13 at the time, and I was 14.
Impressed. Maybe she'll be up here next year.
Yeah, I know. She should have been up here. She'll be here next year, maybe speaking, giving people advice.
So supportive family, they saw that it was kind of, you had this dream team, brother-sister dream team, things were taking off.
Yeah.
And then they saw how much kind of success, I guess, you could have with this. And
Yeah, I mean, they were always really involved, and
Okay.
like you said, like they were super supportive in everything I did. And I was that kid that was doing a yard company when I was like 12 years old, or I had a lacrosse mesh company when I was 13, dyeing the mesh, wax coating it, string kid sticks, or I had a hockey shirt company when I was 10.
You had a lot
So
going
they were
on.
used to me finding these little business endeavors, and then I think when social media came along and they saw how much it was actually growing and how seriously I was taking it, they were more than like supportive or being like, go chase your dreams. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well, I'm sure they're very happy now.
yeah, I think
So,
they are.
Yeah, nothing's changed either. You have a million things going on. So we're going to let you go
Always.
to get your flight to your next place.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Hell
Thanks,
yeah.
Josh.